in off-road number 33. John, how'd you do last time out there?
Well, I kind of had some problems keeping it on all fours, but I think we got that settled, hopefully.
Have you made a lot of major adjustments between last time you were out?
We got a complete new rack and pinion steering system and new tires and wheels, the whole bit. So hopefully we've got those problems eliminated.
What was the problem out there? Was it your suspension? Or?
The suspension was fine. The car's a little too lightweight in the front. I got the wrong kind of tires and wheels. It wouldn't steer. I had no turning brakes, you know, just a combination of things. Normal things with the new car.
Everything corrected for this week's race?
Well, we're pretty sure it is. You know, you never know until you get out there. So.
How was the competition last time you were out there?
Competition's great. You know, they're out there.
Are they tough?
Yeah, there's one guy that is really good. He's got a low budget car, but he can drive that thing. He's really good.
What kind of money you got tied up in this 33?
I was kind of lucky. I pretty well had all the parts. I probably got $9 grand in it.
$9,000?
Yeah, which is nothing compared to a lot of cars.
And how about a cheapie that's out here? What does he have in his car?
I don't know. I'd have to guess maybe $2 grand.
That's
you know,
all,
it just depends what you do, what kind of connections you got, you know, where you buy your things.
A lot of work involved in putting this machine together?
Yeah, this particular car didn't take me too long, but the one before that took me, about 6 months to put together. You know, it just depends what kind of materials you got to work with.
Okay, well, I know you have to get out on the track, so good luck to you today.
Okay.
Let's hope you do a little better than last time.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Weiser in a four-wheeler. Don, tell us a little bit about your four-wheeler today.
Not much. Mainly, I run it in the desert races. I just got back from vacation and decided to come out here and have a good time. My dad's going to be driving my car today, so I thought I'd come out and just have a family fun day.
And how you doing in the desert? Are you winning any races?
Well, I got a second in Mexico, 11th overall was my last desert race, and I'll be running up in Snowflake at the end of the month.
Did they ever flip these things over?
Oh yeah.
All the time?
Yeah, they're a lot. You flip one of these is pretty bad because right when you think you're done crashing, the bike runs you over.
Is that right?
I like flipping in a car better.
I guess so. What kind of horsepower are you talking about in one of these machines?
Mine's stock. I think it's right around 42 horse stock.
A lot of fun driving it?
Oh yeah. I have just as much fun in the car though.
Do you race up against just four-wheelers, or do you race up against three-wheelers?
Today it's just four-wheelers. It's people are just going to four-wheelers now instead of the three-wheelers.
Is it safer or handle better, or do you guys just like them better?
I think just a real experienced rider can ride a three-wheeler just as good, but there's a lot of people that can't, that they think they can, and they're the ones that get hurt.
Are you being sponsored by anybody?
Tough Off-Road and Eastside Cycle.
Okay. Well, good luck you out on the track today.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, I'm here with Steve Weinstein in motorcycle number 302. Steve, I noticed you just had a towel on there. Now, is that just to keep the seat cool so you don't get hover buns here?
Yeah, just keep it cool. It's pretty hot out right now.
Yeah. What kind of bike is this?
Husqvarna.
Husqvarna?
Husqvarna. Yeah, it's made in Sweden.
Have you raced this thing yet?
I race it in the desert once a month. I've been racing it for about a year now.
How you been doing?
Good. Came in second in the state last year, and I'm first in the state right now in my class.
Is that right?
Yeah. But I don't know anything about this.
You excited about it today, though?
I'm a little nervous because I don't know too much about motocross.
Now, you're going to be going over the jumps and all that. Do you do a lot of jumping with this thing out in the desert?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do a lot of jumping and a lot of rocks, a lot of high-speed stuff in the desert. They're 100-mile races.
Is that right? 100-mile races?
Usually 3 laps, 33-mile laps, and they take about 3 hours.
Now, do you have that steel boot on the left?
No. These boots are just basic.
Almost look like ski boots.
Yeah, well, they're just basic. You know, they have a little pad right there for the shifter so they don't wear out, but the toes, there's the only spot on the boot that has the steel in it.
Are you from Tucson?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was born here.
Born here, huh? What do you do when you're not racing for a living?
I'm an attorney.
An attorney?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You married?
Engaged.
Engaged, huh?
Yeah.
What does your fiancée think about you racing?
Well, she goes to the desert races with me once a month, but she's not out here today. She's got a kid, so they're out doing something.
Is she behind you pretty much?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
she's my sponsor.
She's your sponsor,
yeah.
And your backer, huh?
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah, she takes care of me.
Well, Steve, we'll see you out on the track. Good luck to you today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Dab. Yeah. No S, right?
No S.
Okay, go. I'm here with John Babb in number 350 Yamaha, running a motorcycle today. John, have you raced this thing yet this year?
Not here, no. I've raced here in Tucson, but not right here at this track this year.
Out in the desert, or?
I usually race motocross and supercross.
How you been doing as far as winning or placing?
Not real good here lately. I'm just getting back with a broken wrist, but I'm working on it.
Did you break that wrist driving this thing?
Yeah.
Can get pretty dangerous out there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes.
Well, what do you think of our race facilities out here at Raven Raceway?
It seems to be pretty nice right now, and needs a little bugs work out, but it'll be all right, I guess.
You like going over these jumps way up in the air, and pretty dangerous, isn't it?
The track seems to be pretty easy here today. Could get a lot more difficult, make it better racing, I think.
How about the competition that you've been racing against? A lot of the fellows that are out here today, are they pretty rough?
Pretty fast, not real rough, but it's fast. There's some fast ones here.
It's going to be an exciting show out there this afternoon, I'm sure.
I hope so.
You hope so. Are you gonna win this afternoon?
I'm gonna work at it.
You're gonna try, huh? Okay. Nice talking with you. See you out on the racetrack.
Three four-wheelers to the staging area to get ready. Go out for your front.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, there you have it, our national anthem. Getting ready for a little bit of off-road racing in the center of the track here at Raven Raceway this afternoon. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. Sure. David Scroff in number 187. Okay, this is Pro and Sportsman together. Got Mike Fisher, David Scroff, Gary Inez in 888, Donald Weiser, 1582, Skip Constant, 819, Mac McCarthy in 144, Pat Henning in number 11, James Berry in 291, Richard Beckett in 129. As the flagman lines them up and ready to go in our first pro and sportsman race here at Raven Raceway this afternoon. And this is going to be something else.
laps, Dave.
15 laps in the pro sportsman division. As they back them up just a little bit, the tension getting great, lining them up a little bit different. Okay. Well, this is the first time with these fellows out here at Raven Raceway, and we don't have quite all the information that we'd like to have on them, and I apologize, but we will get it all for you coming up in our next events. So we're just going to wing it, so to speak, and call them by numbers. We'll catch a few of the guys by names. As our flagman takes a look at him. The officials moving out of the way. The guys, gals, revving her up. Let's see if he's going to give him a start. Puts his hand on his head. I don't know if that's to hold his hat on or a signal. And yes, we're on the green, and here we go. Let a few of them up front first as they go in and out of the hairpins. And it's a split start here at Raven Raceway. As quad number 8 moves out in front. And up over and inside of the track they go as number 8 is your current leader right now. As he comes around the number 4 corner, so to speak, here at Raven. Following him is number 888. And that's Gary Inez in second place as they push one of the vehicles off to the side. Number 8, your current leader, Gary Inez, running second. Number 11, Pat Hanning's in third place. Green flag still out as they go in and out of the turn pins, up, and over the jumps. 15 laps in this first race here in the Sportsman and Pro Division. Number 8, your current leader. 888 in second place. That's Gary Inez. And Gary, right on Gary's tail is Pat Hanning in the quad number 11. And Pat trying to throw out that line and reel Gary back in. As they come in and out of the hairpins. Your leader, number 8. Look at him slide around the corners and up and over the jumps. Got number 10 out there, a three-wheeler racing up against these guys. Look at him over the jumps down the front chute. As they're kicking up a little bit of dust out there. Three-wheeler going a little bit wide down the front chute, but brings her back in. As your flagman still holds out the green. And they're bunching up just a little bit there as they're coming out of that last hairpin. Look out by scraping the inside of that big old white tire. Gary Innes, 888, and Pat Hanning battling for second place.
888 is Gary Wise, W-I-S-E. Number 8 is Rick Clark.
Rick Clark, your current leader, another quad number 8. Rick Clark, your current leader, as the yellow flag comes out and got a little problem over there. Over by number 4, one of the fellows having a mishap. As the ambulance goes over to check him out. Green flag still out. Yellow over in the number 4. Between number 1 and 2. Gary Wise, number 888 in second. Pat Henning in number 11, running third. Rick Clark in number 8.
Is that 8 on his front number? Right here, come around. Just coming over the jump now. Landed. Get the jump again. Landed. Open over the line.
White flag out. There he is right there, your current leader. Nope. Rick Clark in the Suzuki number 8. We believe. Might not be, but he's in a four-wheeler anyway. He's your current leader. Gary Wise in 888 running second unofficially, and Pat Hanning, number 11. And there's your leader. Number 8, Rick Clark. Hey, let's give Rick a big hand. Unofficially, Gary Wise in number 888 coming in second, and Pat Hanning in the quad number 11, unofficially, is third. Rick Clark doing a fine job. Had it all the way, pulled out in front early in the race, and nobody could catch him. As the checkered flag is out for the rest of them. Dirks, still your leader. Don Colt desperately trying to catch up. The green flag is still out. We've got a whale of a battle for third place right now as Brockett holding off Larry Colt as they come down the front straightaway. Brockett holding his own as they jump over the jumps. Larry Nole trying ever so hard to catch up to Brockett. Gary Dirks, your current leader. The BF Goodrich car number 47. Don Colt gaining a little bit of time on Gary. Brockett and Nole. Nole goes on the inside as they go through the jumps. They're side by side, up and over the jumps. Nole trying to get around Brockett. Here they come down the front straightaway. What a battle for third place, side by side as they jump over the jumps. Look out. And look at that driving out there. What a battle for third place we've got going on between John Brockett and Larry Nole. Your current leader, Gary Dirks in 47. Don Colt going up on his side but holding her in there. Larry Nole, number 2, right behind Brockett. That Brockett electric car. Brockett from Tucson, Larry from Phoenix. The Phoenix driver trying to catch up and losing a little bit of ground on Brockett. Now he makes his move down the front chute. Here comes Larry, challenging Brockett. Kicking up the dust just a little bit more. Larry Nole comes on the inside. They go side by side as they go into the hairpins, touching tires. Around another hairpin. Nole trying to get by Brockett. As they come into the last hairpin, headed down another straightaway. Brockett goes up over the tires. Your winner, Gary Dirks, followed by Don Colt. This is going to be real interesting. The checker flag is out as they come down the front straightaway. Larry Nole trying to put the moves on Brockett. Here they come, almost side by side, but no, John Brockett holds him off as he winds up in third place. Ho-ho, good racing out there this afternoon. Your winner, Gary Dirks, in the car number 47, sponsored by BF Goodrich, Gary from Phoenix. In second place, the number 35 car from Tucson, sponsored by Black Dynamic Engines and Oracle and Wetmore Car Wash, Don Colt. Coming up in third place unofficially, the car number 27, doing a fine job of driving this afternoon from Tucson, sponsored by Okay, getting ready for the sportsman bike race here as they line up out on the field. Jeff Trimble in number 414, Sportsman Motorcycle 125cc. Morgan, or Cass Morgan in the Sportsman 125. Number 255 out on the field right now. Number 216, Ron Arnabal in the 125cc. Number 216. Number 11, Jason Tights. Number 6, Tim Pettit. Number 187, David Pederset. And number 82, Ed Havax. And number 41, Steve Somerville. Number 51, James Somerville Jr. Number 695, Stacy Miller. Number 69, Skip Const. Number 988, George Wrights. Number 311, Kent Nichols. Number 302, Steve Weinstein. Number 436, Terry Moran. Number 2, Ben Walker. As we get them lined up for the sportsman bike event here at Raven Raceway. As the officials talk it over just a little bit with car number, or driver number 26. And they'll get them lined up for you right now. The sportsman division. Many of these fellas racing out into the desert on Sunday afternoons, but they're out here right now at Raven Raceway. They'll be out here also on Friday nights, coming up here real soon. be just a little bit cooler for you as the hot weather moves into Tucson. They get them all warmed up and ready to go. Our flag man looks like he's getting ready. And he doesn't give them any warning at all. And there they go. Off and running. And one of the fellows stalled right at the jump there as they come in and out of the hairpins. They're all bunching up. Number 82 is your current leader. That's Ed Havax. And number 82 bringing them on around and jumping out in front from an early start. Right behind Ed is 695. That's Stacy Miller. And that 250cc, but Stacy being challenged by a whole bunch of them. As Ed Havax in 82 takes a substantial lead right out of the front. 3 abreast as they jump over the jumps. And 1 more to go just before they go into the hairpin. So Ed Havax in 82 has himself somewhat of a good lead right now, but he's being challenged by number 6, who is now in 2nd place. And number 6 is Tim Pettit. Tim Pettit driving that 125cc. Uh-oh, stacking them up there coming out of that last hairpin. Ed taking the cushion wide as he comes around that last corner. And he wants this one bad. 311, now in 2nd place. That's Kent Nichols at number 311. Ed Havax still has a good lead on the rest of the field. And that number 82, that 250cc. And 311 and 255 are going side by side as Cass Morgan got one down coming out of the hairpin. Look out, fellas. Yellow flag comes out just in that area. As Ed Havax, still your current leader. And we've got 4 of them trying to get into that 2nd position as Cass Morgan hangs on to it right now. But for how long? It's only .255, Cass Morgan, 2nd place. 988, giving a run, George Wrights. 9 trying to catch up. Also hanging in there, number 6, Tim Pettit. As your leader, Ed Havax brings him on around. Ed Havax in that Sportsman 255cc, your current leader. Green flag still out. Flagman has the white flag in hand, though. And he'll be waving it shortly in the Sportsman division and these motorcycles. Good racing. Good action out here on the off-road track in the center here at Raven Raceway. Ed Havax, your current leader, and that number 82, look out there as they come over that front jump. And as Ed heads for the hairpins, Ed Havax, your current leader. Look at them jump over those jumps. My goodness, some of those guys going a few feet off the ground, and as they hit the cushions, coming around that number 4 corner, so to speak, almost losing it there. Put on a dandy show here this afternoon. Ed Havoc still your current leader. Kicking up a little bit of dust in those hairpins. I'll tell you, you have to have a lot of guts to drive in this division. 82, there's your current leader. Ed Havoc's coming down the front straightaway. A lot of these fellas setting their groove on the outside of those corners, around number 4 corner. But just before they go into the hairpins, they bring her on the inside. Making a cushion out there. Look at him go up against the outside. Up and over the jumps, almost sideways for number 112. The white flag coming out. Last lap, one more to go. As Ed Havoc comes around in that 250cc, number 82, your leader in the sportsman division. And the checker goes out to Ed, doing a great job of driving, taking the lead almost from the beginning and hanging on. And nobody could catch him. Cass Morgan tried it, got a little bit close to him. George Wrights was right in there, number 988, and also Tim Pettit, number 6. Even Stacy Miller in 695 was hanging right in there. But Ed Havoc, your winner here in the sportsman division.
$112 won that race. 112, my kid won the race.
Bug from Tucson, sponsored by Tough Off-Road, is Pete Gannon. Number 556, also from Tucson, sponsored by Tough Off-Road, is Newt Campbell. And the number 561, a bug from Tucson, owner Jeff Weiser, Don Weiser. 559 from Tucson, also Larry Vitito. And number 605 from Tucson, sponsored by Cherco, Loose Dirt. Number 605, Jeff Huston. Number 617, a rail from Tucson, sponsored by Gary's Auto, Robert Giblin. Number 33, a rail also from Tucson. Number 33, John Nault. Number 610 from Tucson, Robert Catronbone. And number 28, sponsored by Loose Dirt Black Dynamic, Tucson ATV. Number 28, Pete Carwin. Number 51, sponsored by Sandy Cherco and Cherco Automotive Center, Joe Cherco. Okay, they get them all lined up here for the bug race. We've got one of the rail jobs out there. Oh, a couple, 3, 4 of the rail buggies, 5. As the flagman walks out to pick up his flag. Oh, here comes another one out on the racetrack. And I like this flagman. He picks that flag up and just sort of stands there and acts like nothing's happening. All of a sudden, he just waves her away and jumps out of the way as they get him warmed up. Joe Cherico and the rest of them, and we've got a green flag right now as they head into the hairpins. That's number 33, John Nole, taking a quick lead, jumping right out in front. John Nole being chased by number 28 and number 7. Number 28, Pete Gannon in second place. Number 7 in third place. And John goes up on his side a little bit as he comes through. And Pete Carr. And Pete chasing up on him. Number 33, John Nole, your current leader. And Pete's right on his rear, trying to make his moves as they come out of that last hairpin. John Nole, your current leader, jumping over the jumps and coming into the wide corner on the north end of the track. As Pete's right behind him. Number 7 still hanging in there third. And here comes Pete and Nole. Back around the number wide turn on the south end as they go into the hairpins. Let's see if Pete can overtake John. John looking real good as he comes around that hairpin and into the last one. Pete Carwin in number 28, the John Brockett car, hanging in there in second place. We've got one stalled. Number 617, Robert Giblin, stalled out there in the hairpins as the yellow flag comes out over in that area only as number 7 gets alongside Pete Carwin. And look out! Oh my goodness. Pete Carwin spinning out. Number 7 jumping out there in second place. John Nole, your current leader in that rail job, number 33. Number 33, your current leader, John Nole, followed by number 7, and he's catching up to John Nole just a little bit as they come down the hairpins. Pete Carwin at 28 getting back out there after being spun out. The green flag still out except for the stalled car right in the middle of those hairpins. The green flag is still out and the yellow flag still out right in the middle of those hairpins. Number 7 putting the moves on John Nole as they come around the south corner, bouncing away up and down. Number 33 still out in front, hanging on. We've got a hellacious battle going on for first place as number 7 moves on the outside, tries to get him on the inside, can't get by Nole. He's coming around him now as they come out of the last hairpin, bouncing up and down and shaking her insides out, side by side as they come down toward the last corner. And number 7 moves out in front with John Nole now hanging in there in second place. And Nole cutting in on the inside, trying to catch back up to car number 7. Good job of driving. And you race fans, we don't have the information on number 7. If one of y'all want to come up and give me his name, we'll go ahead and announce it. Number 7, your current leader, John Nole, and number 33 in second place. number 7, moving out in front of Nole. Jeff Hibner in the car number 7. Hibner. Your current leader, John Nault, in second place. As the white flag comes out. And Hibner hanging in there. Nault trying to catch up to Hibner. And unless something desperately happens here, here comes Hibner in the car number 7, and he gets the checkered flag as Hibner wins this one. And John Nault in the car number 33 takes second. Nault hanging on to the lead most of this race, but Hibner looked like he had just a little bit more horses than Nault this afternoon. Doing a good job of driving out there, Hibner did. Nault doing a mighty fine job, too. Good racing this afternoon. Jeff Hibner, number 7. There's your winner, folks, in the car number 7. Let's give him a big hand as he comes down the front straightaway, Jeff Hibner. In the Pro motorcycle number 386, he's also running a 250cc. Number 62, Mike Rem, another 250cc motorcycle pro, and Scott Davis in 72. And that's all the information we have on these fellows. If we missed your guy, please get us up the information, and we'll be glad to announce him and the sponsor, or her. Okay, they're warming him up, and we're on the green, and we've got another one died right at the start, and he's upset, I'll tell you. Oh, got another one down going into the first corner, and he's not happy about that either. Okay, as they come in and out of the hairpins, looks like number 72, Scott Davis, your current leader, but it's early in the race, and he's being challenged by number 51, and that's Brian Hayes in 51, challenging Scott. Scott, your leader. In third place, number 41, right behind Brian Hayes. Scott coming out of the corners into the hairpins. Number 72, Scott Davis. Right behind Scott Davis is 51, Brian Hayes. Right behind Brian Hayes is number 41. If you have this guy's name, I don't have it. If you bring it up to me, we'll sure be glad to announce it. Number 41 in third place. Scott Davis, your leader. Brian Hayes in second place as they come down the front straightaway. Up and over the jumps they go. Scott Davis, number 72, your current leader. Brian Hayes, 51, right on Scott's tail. Number 41 in third place. If you have 41's name and you can bring it on up to me, we sure would be glad to announce it for you this afternoon. Scott Davis, 72, being challenged by Brian Hayes. Brian catching up and then losing it just a little bit. Number 62, Mike Rem, is in fourth place as Scott Davis comes down the front chute and into the hairpins. Scott Davis, your current leader. Brian Hayes in 51 in second place. And here comes Scott Davis in 72, up over the jumps. Brian Hayes right on his tail, and 41 is Danny Bonham in third place right now, trying to catch up to Brian Hayes. '41 hanging in there, but still quite a ways back from Scott, as Scott takes a fairly good lead from Brian Hayes in that 51 250cc. Danny Bonham holding his own as Scott Davis opening up the gap for the lead. Ron Wetmore also trying to catch up to Danny Bonham, as Scott Davis doing an excellent job of steering that vehicle around the hairpins. Slows up a little bit. Here comes 51 trying to catch up, but cannot catch him. Okay, here comes your leader, number 72, Scott Davis, followed by Brian Hayes in 51H. And Brian closing up the gap just a little bit as Danny Bonham in 41 comes around the turn. Oh, look out. Into the hairpins they go. And look out there, Brian. Brian getting tangled up just a little bit, slows him up, and opens up that gap from Scott Davis. There he is, Scott Davis, number 72. Brian Hayes, 51. Now, Scott Davis is going to wind up in some traffic, so let's see if Brian can catch up to him as they go into the hairpins. And they cloud up coming out of that one hairpin into the last hairpin. Scott in the traffic. Hayes trying to catch up. Hayes getting up around the tire, and up over they come, as Davis brings it on around, out of traffic now, coming down the front jumps, up and over he goes. Hayes catching up, but now Hayes is getting into traffic as they come into the first set of hairpins. And Hayes hanging in there. Passes one, headed for another one. And we've got one down here on the front straightaway, flipped over by the flag stand, and we've got a driver down. It looks like it just fell off from under him. I don't know if heat exhaustion or what, but he's down. The green flag's still out, awful warm out there on the racetrack, as Scott Davis brings it on around, your current leader. Scott Davis in 72 has a good lead on Brian Hayes, a comfortable lead on Brian Hayes. No yellows out right now. Sort of a half a yellow by the flagman, telling him to keep away over by the flag stand. Got a driver down there. '41, Danny Bonham is still hanging in there. And Scott Davis still with a good lead as he goes over the jumps out of the hairpin, round the corner. And Scott hanging it up high as he comes down the front straightaway. Misses that jump completely. So does Brian Hayes, as they set their own groove out on the racetrack. And Brian doing a good job of driving. But will he have enough time to catch up to Scott? And Scott's lead being cut down. Up, we've got another one down just before the hairpins as the yellow flag goes out in that area. Green flag still out for the rest of the pack. As Scott Davis, your current leader, comes down the front straightaway. Brian Hayes falling back just a little bit. Yellow flag goes off, and we're back in the green all over the racetrack right now. As Danny Bonham in number 41, unofficially in third place right now. And here comes Scott Davis out of the hairpins, around the corner, down the front straightaway. Brian Hayes is not going to catch him. The checker flag is out, and your winner of this race is Scott Davis, followed by Brian Hayes in second place, unofficially Danny Bonham in third place. As the checker flag comes out for the rest of the field here in this pro bike race here at Raven Raceway on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, let's give him a big hand for the winner of this race, Scott Davis. And also, let's give him a big hand, folks, too. He done a fine job of driving. Number 51, Brian Hayes. Hey, we're going to be getting ready for the Pro and Sportsman quads and three-wheelers out on the track. We have Mike Fisher in the number 250cc and Rick Clark, quad number 8, along with 888, Gary Wise. In another quad, number 11, Pat Hanning, number 187, David Scroff, number 1582, Donald Weiser, number 819, Skip Const, number 144, Mac McCarthy, number 291, James Barry, and number 12, Richard Beckett. And we'll be getting underway with this next race here in the quads. As they line up the track once again, line up the starting line. And let's see if their flagman's going to have them start off in a dual start again this time. That number 8 quad. Right on the outside is Rick Clark driving that vehicle. There's 187, David Scroff, right next to Rick. And that green machine. And number 888, that's Gary Wise, right next to David. And number 11, Pat Hanning, also sitting on the line from Tucson, sponsored by ATV and Psycho Tough Off-Road. Also, Mac McCarthy, driving the number 144, Quad Sportsman, number 250cc. Also out on the field, number 35. If somebody has number 35's name, would they please bring it on up to the press box? Okay, the flagman gets ready to put out the green flag as one of the drivers wants to converse with him just for a second. And gets back out on the field, tells them, wind it up, gentlemen, and let's get ready to go. As he looks back, and they're on the green flag, and here we go, racing again in the Pro and Sportsman quads and three-wheelers as they go into turn number 1. Coming on around, slipping and sliding away. Looks like number 11, Pat Hanning, taking an early lead. As Pat comes in and out of the hairpins, and that number 11, right behind Pat in 888 is Gary Wise, running in second place, but Gary being challenged out there. Looks like number 8, Rick Clark. Let's see as they come down the front straightaway. Pat Hanning, your current leader, 888 in second. Followed by Rick Clark, and Rick, oh my goodness. Rick hanging it up on that tire out there, going into the hairpins. He's trying to get it out of there. He's fighting it now, but he's got her back under control. As your leader, Pat Hanning in number 11 takes a good lead against Gary Wise in the number 888 as Gary comes down the front straightaway, up and over the jumps he comes. Looks like Mac McCarthy in third place right now as Henning leads him into the hairpins. Gary Wise closing up the gap just a little bit as Pat brings her up and over the jumps out of the hairpins. Gary Wise in second place. And Mac McCartney now in third place. And Richard Beckett currently running fourth, trying to catch up to Mac McCartney. Pat Hanning, your current leader, in the number 11. As Pat comes out of the hairpins into the turn. Keeps her right down the middle as he comes over the jump. Gary Wise, in number 888, gets it a little bit wide coming down the front straightaway, but brings it back in and hanging in there right behind Pat Hanning. Now 144, Mac McCartney is in third place. Richard Beckett in 121, gaining a little bit of ground on Matt. Or Mac, I should say, as Pat Hanning in number 11, your current leader, jumps over the jump, comes around the number 4 corner, so to speak, here in the Raven off-road track, and Pat down the straightaway, opening up the gap just a little bit from Gary Wise. Pat Hanning, Gary Wise, Mac McCartney, Richard Beckett. Number 11, your current leader, followed by 888. And these guys are getting full of mud. Number 11, your current leader, comes down the front straightaway. Gary Weiss in 888 trying to catch him. And Gary starting to close the gap up as they go into the hairpins. And let's see if Gary can catch up to Pat as Pat comes into one hairpin, out of the other. Gary closing up the gap just a little bit as they go up over the jumps, down into the corner. Pat Hanning in 11, your current leader, keeps it on the inside as he comes down the front straightaway, but here comes Gary Weiss in 888, jumping over and up, and closing the gap up ever so much each lap. Uh-oh, he's catching up to him now. Pat better put the glove to the handle as they come out of the hairpins. Pat Hanning in number 11. Gary Weiss, 888, coming up on Pat's rear, touching up against the white tire. Uh-oh, Gary is moving up on him, just about catching him. Here they come. Oh, this is going to be interesting. As they come around, number 3 and 4, Pat Hanning, your leader. Here comes Gary on the inside. Can he catch him? And looks like Pat's got about a horse or two more than Gary. They come back into the hairpins. Pat goes a little bit wide. Gary comes on wide too by the tire. Here they come around the next hairpin. Up over the jump they go. Pat Hanning, number 11, brings her down the center, brings it to the right. Coming into the final hairpin, Gary Wise in 888, desperately trying to catch it back up to Pat. Pat Hanning, your current leader, in number 11. Coming off the number 4 corner, and now he's opening up the gap again. And the white flag is out, and Gary Wise in number 888 is going to have his work cut out for him as the white flag is out. This is the last lap. Pat Hanning hanging in there. Gary trying to catch up, but I don't think he's going to get him unless something happens to Pat. Here they come into the hairpin. Approaching the last hairpin. Pat Hanning cuts it, looks back at Gary, says, no, you're not going to catch me. Up over the jumps they go. Gary Wise in 888, opening up that throttle, trying to come on up to Pat, but I don't believe he's going to get him. Let's see what happens. Here they come down the front straightaway, and your winner is Pat Hanning in number 11, followed by Gary Wise in 888. Unofficially, but it looks like it's going to be official unless there's some kind of protest. Good job of driving. Let's give Pat Hanning a good hand. Pat Hanning in number 11. Also a rail from Tucson, Arizona, number 35, sponsored by Black Dynamic Engines, Oracle and Wetmore Car Wash. Number 35, Don Colt. Number 28, a rail from Tucson, sponsored by Brockett Electric, John Brockett. Number 2, a rail from Phoenix, Arizona, Larry Nole. Also another rail, the owner, Tony Capaner. Number 7, Ruben Federico. Number 1629, owner Wayne Green, sponsored by Lizard Chassis, Wayne Green. And the number 14 car from Tucson, sponsored by Wade's Automotive, Lizard Chassis, number 14 car, Tim Knight. And bringing up the field, the car number 34 from Phoenix, Rick Geyser. Eight cars out on the racetrack right now, getting ready for this off-road pro race here at Raven. Getting the fellas situated here. Track looking mighty fine out there this afternoon. And 16:29, Wayne Green. Finish second. Okay, here we go. The green flag's out, and we're off and racing on the off-road track. Kicking up a little dust. 47, Gary Dirks jumping out in front. But it's a little bit early to tell as Gary opens up that gap as car number 2, Larry Nole, currently in second place. Gary Dirks kicking up a lot of dust as he comes out of that hairpin. Look at him slipping and sliding. Uh-oh. Car number 14, Tim Knight, losing it just a little bit, but has her back out. As he come down the front straightaway, Gary Dirks jumps up over, and he's our current leader. Car number 2, Larry Nole, running in second place. And number 34, Rick Geyser, Rail, now in third place. As Gary Dirks loses it going into the hairpins, he is now in second place. And Larry Nole is now our current leader as Gary goes side by side, and both of them slide out as they go into the hairpins, and they get her back under control. We've got them all jammed up over there. But Larry Nole jumps back out into the lead, and Gary Dirks in 47 goes way wide, almost over the hill, and he's having his problems. Here he comes on the inside, trying to get back into the race, dropping way back into 5th place. And Larry Nole opening up the gap here at Raven Raceway this afternoon. Okay, Larry Nole is your first place, 16:29. Wayne Green now in second place. And Larry's got himself a good lead as we've got one stalled over there at the hairpins. That's number 34, stalled Rick Geyser. And 16:29 is in second place right now. That's Wayne Green. Larry Nole, first place. Wayne Green in second place. And Wayne Green in 16:29 is overtaken by 35. Don Colt now in second place. Wayne Green in third place as Larry Nole comes down the front straightaway, your leader in this race this afternoon. As Don Colt in second place. Third place, Wayne Green in 16:29. And right behind Wayne Green is that 28 car, John Brockett. Larry Nole comes out of the hairpins. The rest of them, second and third and fourth place cars, battling up as they go into that next hairpin. And out of the last hairpin, Larry Nole with a comfortable lead out front as 16:29 being challenged right now. 16:29 in second place, but perhaps not for long. Opens it up just a little bit more as Don Colt has fallen back into third, but Don trying to catch up to Wayne Green. Okay, here they come into the hairpins once again. Larry Nole leads him around. Larry going to run into a little bit of traffic, but I don't believe that's going to slow him up. And 16:29 sliding out as Don Colt slips in under him. And Don Colt now in second place. Wayne Green falling back to third. And we've got a good battle going on here for second and third. Here they come down the front straightaway. Don Colt, second place. Here comes Wayne Green right on his tail. We've got one stalled there in the next to the last hairpin. But he doesn't look like he's going to be too much of a threat. The yellow flag comes out in that area. Your current leader, Larry Nole, in number 2, from Phoenix, brings it on around. The last hairpin, round the corner into the straightaway. 16:29, Wayne Green falling back of Don Colt. And Wayne Green trying to catch back up to Colt as he got caught up in a little bit of traffic over there where that car was stalled out. We've got another one going into the, well, we can't say the infield, but off the track just a little bit. Couple fellas in that car. That's number 7, Ruben Federico, losing a little bit. And there goes 1629. Looks like spinning out. They're coming out of that hairpin, but he grabs her back in there. As your leader, Larry Nole, holds it in first place. Larry Nole, your leader. Second place, Don Colt in the car number 35. As 1629, Wayne Green tries to get back into third place instead of Rick Geiser. Larry Nole brings it around the corner, goes a little bit wide and kicks up some dust. As Don Colt in second place comes around that same corner, kicks up some more dust, comes down the front straightaway, and he's got a long way to go to catch up to Larry Nole. Don Colt from Tucson in second place. Rick Geiser, number 34, in third place right now. And following Rick, Wayne Green in 1629, and they're spread out quite a bit out on this racetrack. Oh, look at that. 35, almost losing it as he comes out of that final hairpin, as Larry Nole comes down the front straightaway and up over the jump and a little bit sideways he goes, but hanging right in there. White flag is out, one more lap to go. I doubt it, but it's not over yet. I don't think Don can catch him unless something happens to Larry right now that is unforeseen, as Larry goes toward the final hairpin. Larry Nole coming out of the hairpin, your current leader. Don Colt in second. Don making ground, but there's not enough laps left to go in this one. This is your final lap as your leader comes out of the hairpins and into the corner as he's headed for the home straightaway. Down the chute he comes. And he looks like he has her in the bag. The car number 2, your winner, Larry Nole. And doing a good job of driving out there this afternoon. Number 35, Don Colt in second place. And it looks like we have Rick Geiser in 34 in third and Wayne Green in 1629 in fourth, unofficially. Hope we have that right for you. Well, from Phoenix, hoping he has a lot of fans down here. Let's give the car number 2 a big hand, Larry Nole. Good job of driving. He's got a hot automobile. I'll tell you, this afternoon he's really putting on a show for us here at Raven Raceway. Sportsman motorcycle event. Looks like the main event got a lot of them out there in the field this afternoon. Oh, my goodness. This is going to be an exciting one. Okay, as we line them up here for the Sportsman motorcycle. And number 82, Ed Hedbox. Ed, one of our winners here this afternoon, I believe. Number 69, Skip Konst, K-O-N-S-T. Number 2, Ben Walker. 436, Terry Moran. Number 695, Stacy Miller. Number 302, Steve Weinstein. Number 414, Jeff Trimble. Flagman looks like he's ready to go, and we're off and racing in this main event here at Raven Raceway. This is going to be fun. Look at them go. As they come into the hairpins, they're going to bottle up just a little bit. Okay. As they come out of the hairpins, Number 82 looks like your current leader. That's Ed Havox jumping out in front, followed by Ed. $129. Looks like he's moving into second place. As Ed and number 82 jumps out in front at an early start and holding on to the lead. Here comes number 255 jumping in second. It's Morgan Cass, or Cass Morgan. Oh, he looks like he might give Ed a run for his money this afternoon, as Cass currently holding second place. Ed Havox in number 82, your current leader right now. As Ed enters into the hairpins. Cass right behind him. And in third place, Tim Pettit trying to catch up to Cass Morgan. Here they come, out of the hairpins, up over the jumps. Uh-oh, we've got one down there. Look out. Don't run that guy over. He's up. The yellow flag comes out, and, oh, they miss him. So far, all these guys doing a fine job of driving out there this afternoon. That's number 112, Kevin Carpenter. Losing it a little bit in the hairpins. Green flag is out once again on all the racetrack. Ed Havoc, your current leader, and number 82. As Ed jumps over the jumps and into the large corners. Uh-oh, Ed's slipping and almost losing it as he goes into that corner on the north end of the racetrack. Hey, look at Cass Morgan. Cass is right on Ed's tail as they enter into the hairpins. And Cass closing up the gap. And number 255. And Tim Pettit is not out of it yet. Here they come out of the hairpins. Ed Havoc, your leader. Cass Morgan in second place. Cass going way up into the air. They're coming into the large corner in the north end of the track. Here they come down the front straightaway. Look out! Ed Havoc almost losing it. Cass really pouring it on as Cass Morgan challenges Ed Havoc. And the flagman puts out the sign. We're halfway through this one. So Ed's got his work cut out for him. Your leader, Cass, or your leader, Ed Havoc in 82, being challenged by Cass Morgan all the way. As Cass gets into a little traffic, Ed Havoc is really pouring it on, goes way wide, holds it in there, comes down the front straightaway into the jumps, and up over he goes. Whoa, what driving. Ed Havoc, your current leader. Yellow flag's down. Our yellow flag is out. We've got a driver down. And he gets back up. He looks like he's okay as Ed brings him around once again. Ed Havoc, your current leader, number 82. And Cass Morgan in 255 hanging right in or falling back a little bit, but Ed's going to be running into some traffic as they come into the hairpins. Okay, here comes Ed. Getting into traffic. Cass Morgan catching up again. Up over the jumps they go, coming around the turn on the wide. Oh, Ed is going a little bit wide, but Cass cannot catch up to him. Oh, no! My goodness, look out! And he and over and jumps up. He's okay as Ed Havoc flips it way up into the air down the front straightaway. Whoa! And he's okay. So we have a new leader right now. It's Cass Morgan. Unbelievable. He got up and just jumped back on that bike, and he's back out on the track again. Tough luck for Ed Havocs. Number 82. So we have a new leader, Cass Morgan in 255. As the white flag is getting ready to come out. As they're on the white flag lab now. And there's your winner, number 255, Cass Morgan. What a job of driving. Oh, boy, what an exciting race that was. Hey, folks, let's give that number 82 a great hand, a big hand for a great job of driving, Ed Havocs. Do you believe that after flipping over like that and getting back up, he didn't walk back to his bike. He just got up and ran back to that bike. I'm sure the ambulance drivers were all ready to run out on the field. And he just walks over and jumps on the thing and gets back into the race. Good job of driving. And another good job of driving, the winner of that race, number 255, Cass Morgan. Well, Dan Johnson, did you get Ed's flip on that one? Oh, we've got that one on tape. Aha! Here we go with the off-road guys once again. The off-road sportsman, number 7, is Jeff Hibner. And number 33, John Nault from Tucson. 1629, back out there again. Dick Patterson in that rail job. Number 28, Pete Corwin. Sponsored by Loose Dirt, Black Dynamic, and Tucson ATV. Number 610, Robert Catronbone. Number 617 from Tucson also, Robert Giblin. Number 559, Larry Vitito in the bug in the back. Also in a bug, number 569, Pete Gannon from Tucson, sponsored by Tough Off-Road. Number 561, Don Weiser. He tells him to rev him up. Number 556, Newt Campbell. Number 605, Jeff Hilson. And we're on the green again once here at Raven Raceway. As they go into the first hairpin, they're bottling up just a little bit. As car number 28, Pete Corwin takes the lead, followed by number 33, John Nault in second place. And John Nault being challenged right now by car number 7, Jeff Hibner, and Jeff jumps into second place as Corwin brings him around down the front straightaway. Hibner in second place. John Nault in 33 in third. And 617, Robert Giblin, now in fourth place. And we've got one stalled over there just before the hairpins. That's car number 14, shut down before the hairpin turn. as Pete Corwin in 28 heads for the first large turn at the north end of the track. And Pete opening up the gap against Hibner. And Hibner in second place in that number 7 off-road vehicle, followed by John Nault in 33. And behind John, 617 Robert Giblin. And Giblin being challenged right now. That's 1629. Pete Corwin, number 28, opening up the gap again. And Hibner in 7, getting stuck in some of that mud out there on the inside of that hairpin and trying to hold it in there and catch up to Corwin, but Corwin really opening up the gap right now as Jeff Hibner currently in second place. John Nault trying to catch up to Hibner. And John doing a good job of driving as he heads into the hairpin right behind Hibner. Pete Corwin out in front at number 28. And here comes your leader right now, Pete Corwin in 28. That loose dirt, black dynamic, and Tucson ATV car. Oh my goodness. Pete shut down at the halfway mark, and he looks like he's going to be out of this one, as Hibner is now your current leader, followed by John Nault. As Pete Corwin, having this one in the bag, heads it into the pits. A tough luck job for Pete, as Hibner, number 7, holds on to the lead. And Hibner going wheel to wheel out there as he comes out of the hairpins, getting into traffic, lapping car number 14. John Nault, your second place car. Hibner doing a fine job right now. And John Nault trying desperately to catch up to Hibner. Let's see if he can do it. Let's see if he can close that gap up. As Hibner comes out of the hairpins, and Hibner going to have a little bit of traffic as Nault comes out of the hairpin. Okay, here comes Hibner down the front straightaway. He's got 5:59 in front of him, 5:56. And he's going to, up 59, gets out of the way as he goes into the hairpin. As Nault comes down the front chute. Nault headed into the hairpin. Hibner with a real good lead right now. But as you've seen with Pete Corwin, as Yogi Berra says, it ain't over till it's over. As Corwin had to head into the pits with a real good lead over Hibner. Hibner comes down the front chute. Has a little bit of traffic in front of him. 5:56, doesn't look like it wants to move out of the way for Hibner. So Hibner tries to get him on the inside, can't catch up. 5:59 says, I'm in this race too. That's Larry Vitito. And the white flag is out. So all Hibner needs to do is just hang in there right now. And the last lap here in this division in the off-road guys and gals. Jeff Hibner comes around the number 4 corner, headed down the home straightaway. Checker flag in hand. going to give it to 1629. And why, I don't know. It looked like Hibner was out front, and we've got one up on its side, but back down as John Nault brings it back down. And I don't know the results on that one, folks, if Hibner was disqualified or what. But they gave her to 1659. Okay, we have the pro bikes out on the field right now. And number 51, that's Brian Hayes. And Brian's sponsored by United Motorsports, Bell Ray, looks like Enterprises from Tempe, Arizona. 51H, Brian Hayes. And number 72, Scott Davis, a Motorcycle Pro 250cc. Number 386, Scott Brasmer in the Pro Motorcycle 250cc. Number 41, Danny Bonham. And number 41, 84 is Ron Wetmore in a 250cc Motorcycle Pro. And 62 is Mike Rem, also in a 250cc. And John Babb bringing up the field with the number 350. As we try to get the track cleared off, get ready for this. I believe it's the final event here. Is that right, Robin? Final event here at Raven Raceway in the off-road division. Okay, the flag man looks at him, and the guys rev him up. He touches his hat, and they're on the green flag. As they're headed for the hairpins in his final event here this afternoon at Raven Raceway. And it looks like Brian Hayes jumping out in front again as he takes the lead, but he's being challenged. Brian Hayes, your leader, being challenged by Scott Davis once again, and Scott in the number 72 bike. And right behind Scott in 41 is Danny Bonham, hanging right in there, but Danny being challenged by number 62, Mike Rem. As Brian in 51 leads him around once again, and into the hairpins they go. Some real skill of driving in this division. Number 72, Scott Davis, right behind Brian. And there's a battle going on for third place. Got three of them in there. Danny Bonham, Mike Rem, and, uh-oh, look out there. That's Danny Bonham almost losing it there. And look at the battle we've got going on for third. 62, 41, and 84. Ron Watmore trailing up the field, trying to jump into third place right behind Mike Rem and Danny Bonham. As Brian Hayes, your current leader in 51, brings it on around with Scott Davis right behind him. And Scott had him right there as they came out of that hairpin, but Scott dropped back. As Brian brings him on around once again. Okay, as they go into hairpins, let's see if Scott Davis can catch him now. Scott jumping over that jump. headed for the final hairpin. But Brian hanging in there as they come around the big white tires. And Brian pours it on as they heads over toward the corners. Number 62 is in third place right now, followed by 41, but 84, Ron Wetmore, is challenging 41 for that fourth position as they go side by side, and they're headed into the hairpins, and they're touching each other, and looks like Ron overtook him, and he did. Ron Wetmore, now currently moved up on Danny Bonham in that 41 bike. As Brian Hayes, 51, your current leader, Scott Davis, trying to catch up. Trying ever so hard. Here they come, your third place, 62, Mike Rem. Fourth place, 84, Ron Wetmore. And fifth place, number 41, Danny Bonham. And look at Brian come around that hairpin. Your current leader right now on the front straightaway, Brian Hayes in 51, followed by Scott Davis in 72. In third place, Mike Rem in 62. Fourth place, Ron Wetmore in 84. Fifth place, Danny Bonham in number 41. Ron Wetmore. Okie doke. Wetmore. And number 84. Thank you. Brian Hayes, 51, still your leader. As Scott Davis trying ever so hard to catch up. But if Brian can just hold on to what he's got right now, Scott's going to have his work cut out for him. Brian comes out of the hairpin into the last one. Already has the field lapped. Running into a little traffic there. Overtakes his traffic, comes down the front chute. Up over the jump he goes. As your current leader, Brian Hayes from Tempe, Arizona, overtaking and winning this one at this time, followed by Scott Davis in 72, Mike Rem in 62, Ron Wetmore in 84, and Danny Bonham in 41. There he is, your leader, Brian Hayes, with a real comfortable lead over that guy, Scott Davis, in 72. And Mike Rem in 62, Ron Wetmore in 84, and Danny Bonham in at 41. And look at the battle between Danny Bonham and Mike Rem in that 62 and 41 bike. And, uh-oh, they tangled up over there, it looks like. Both of them fellas trying to jump up in there and stuck in the mud. And their bikes are latched together, and they're trying to pull them apart to get back into this one. And they locked, oh, it looks like the handlebars on the inside of one. And some tough luck for these fellas this afternoon. As everybody is out there trying to help them out. Okay, Brian Hayes in 51 doing a fine job this afternoon. And Scott Davis doing a fine job, but in second place right now. It looks like McRedman and Danny Bonham are out of this one. They're trying to get it started back up, but the laps are being lapped a couple times, it looks like. And, well, let's see. Well, McRedman got her going again, and he's back out there. And also Danny Bonham back out on the field right now. And number 62 slowing it up, and I don't know if he's having his problem seen, or looks like his goggles were coming off. That's McRedman. And Danny Bonham still hanging in there. As your leader, Brian Hayes in 51 comes down the front straightaway, misses the jump. I guess that's legal because nobody's saying anything. Also, Scott Davis in 72, as you see him come down the front straightaway. And Scott, all these fellas not going over that speed bump over there. And look at these two fellas, 62 and 384, or 86. And Danny Bonham hanging in there. Danny says, I'm going to finish this one. Here comes the white flag for your leader. One more lap to go for Brian Hayes. And Scott Davis right behind him. Well, not right behind him, but currently in second place. Doesn't look like he's going to catch Brian unless Brian has a mishap of some sort. And Brian brings her on the inside, heads toward the last hairpin, comes out of the hairpin and up over the jumps. Scott closes it up a little bit, but loses it again. As your leader, Brian Hayes, comes down the front straightaway, goes wide, over one jump, over two, and here's the checker flag. Your winner of this race, Brian Hayes. And in second place, number 72, Scott Davis. Good job of driving, both of you fellas. Good job. Well, stick around, folks. We're going to have some presentations. Down on the front straightaway, we're going to have our awards right here on the front straightaway, just beyond the fence.
Second place. Today is Larry's 50th birthday, too, guys. Thanks. Happy birthday to you.
Remember last night, though, Albert.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Sportsman Limited.
Sportsman Unlimited.
Unlimited.
John. Almost, he did it. Joey Chumpwood, 2 wheels. First place. Oh, do we have a trophy, girl? There you go, here you go, girl. You're not taking her back to Phoenix? Wait, that's not the point. Oh, this is my wife, Jerry. Second place. Pete. She was blind when I married her. Pete Corwin, where are you at? Pete Corwin. Peter. You gonna come get your trophy? Second place?
We showed them all that you don't have to have mega bucks.
Pete Corwin.
They say anything to say?
2 staging, please.
We all did.
Sportsman Limited. Sportsman Limited. Jeff, Jimmy. Could you not? Second place in Sportsman Limited, Dick Patterson. Borrowed car.
Yay, Dick!
Thank you. Hey.
You gotta work the car, though.
Come on.
Roll it down
Keith
here.
Corwin, Sportsman Unlimited, second place.
All right, Pete.
First place was Don Colt, 38 points.
He went to the lake. I'll take it.
Tell him to check the pin. Larry Nole, second place with 37 points. Got beat by 1 point.
How did the points work?
Wayne Green, third place, a pro. Gary Dirks, fourth place. John Brockett, fifth place. Tony Campineer, sixth place.
No, Dirks
Good
won.
for a limited motor. Tim Knight, seventh place. Richard Phoenix, eighth place.
That's pretty good. How do you do that?
Pro money get in the red booth. We'll give you pro money in the red booth. I want to thank you all for coming. We had a little bit of trouble here and there, but this is the first time around the bikes.
Ronnie fell down.
Ronnie did?
Yeah, he wrecked the first motor too.
I'm rude. I didn't know you guys wanted to know each other.